Good morning and happy Mother's Day. Oh, you can see the steam of my morning mocha hitting the screen. For all the mums out there who are Shiraz, Princess of Powers.
I think it's made of smoke.
Oh, I don't think it's smoke. It's definitely nothing too sinister in there, that's for sure, Ash. How is everyone? Happy Mother's Day. Got my nails done yesterday. Love this. Woo, got the cat's eye done. Love it. Love the girls down in Upway. Thanks to Ivy and Helen and Amber down there. Anyone who gets their nails done in Upway goes to My Rose. It's just how things are. So Mother's Day, my goodness. I was very inspired yesterday by a Facebook group that I'm in. One of the mums in that group wrote a really powerful post, and I commented on it because I really felt in my gut. Sometimes I think, oh, do I want to really get into this, because it was such a layered question, and I really felt the pull to answer this question for this lady. And I could have gone like 12 paragraphs long, but I refrained from at about 3. But it was really powerful. It was like the things that she wants for her daughters. I'm not sure how old her daughters are, which is like confidence, empowerment, and what was the other thing she said? Confidence, empowerment, and, or there was something else in there, but like strength, I guess, like to be themselves. She really wants for her daughters, but she doesn't really feel it within herself. And she really wanted to work on that area for herself so she could be a really good role model for her girls. And what would we recommend to do? And I was so surprised at some of the answers. Like some people were saying, oh, you know, Bikram yoga. Some were saying kinesiology. Some were saying EMDR, all great modalities. But I was like, none of like who we want to be comes from outside of us. Like things like, you know, women's circles and, you know, tarot and kinesiology, all these things, they're great and they do help, but they're still permission slips. Everything that we need is inside of us. And if we feel we need to outsource our power to anything, like it might help get us on the path, but it's all done by us, right? So I was a little surprised by that. Not judging or anything. Like if it worked for you, go big notes. That's awesome. But like everything comes from within you. So it really got me thinking about like why we become mothers in the first place. And I just remember, and like I've actually been asked this question very recently. Me and my bestie Claire were sitting down having a conversation and was like, what actually made us want to be a mum? And I just remember like the pull that I had in me at 30 years old, because I had Lila at 31 and I had Ashton at 33, that pull that I had inside of me I felt like I had so much love in me that I needed to create other humans to pour into, you know, and I really wanted to share this world with versions of myself, right? That was the real pull for me. And I'd love to hear what the pull was for you to become a mother. Like, was it just what everyone else was doing? Did you think that there was no other option? Or was there that real maternal pull to want to have children, right? And then what I realized when I had kids is that all of my beliefs and the social pendulums, as what Vadim Zeland would call them, the ideas of society, of other people, what they think parenting should look like strict, it needs to be hard. It has to be, you know, you're always feeling like you're doing this. Kids are always inconveniencing you. You're never able to really do what you want to do when you've got kids. Like these were the beliefs that I had around having kids. And I made that true for me. Because what you believe, you know, whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right. So whatever you believe, you will make true for yourself because you hate being wrong, right? So parenthood for me was hard. And it was an inconvenience. And it was like all of these things, like kids were messy, kids were this, because I believed that was going to be the case. And so I'm just seeing what this chaos factory behind me is doing. I believed it to be true. And so I made it true, right? So I really handicapped myself being a mum, because all of the beliefs and preconceived ideas that society had put into my head about parenthood, I believed to be true, and so I made it so. So in my heart of hearts, in my soul, I knew that being a parent would be fun. It would feel light. It would be like a laugh a minute. It would be chaos, but I would love it. But because of the beliefs and the shit that I had in my mind, that wasn't my experience. And I'm really not regretful of it, because obviously everything happens for a reason, but I regret the impact that had on my kids. And I regret all of the joy that I missed out on because of those preconceived ideas and beliefs that I had, that it had to be hard. So this is why digging into your beliefs and your unconscious, ideas on things is really important, because they are running the show. They're 95% of the operatus modalum, shall we say. So what I loved about this lady's question on this particular post was, she's like, I want my kids to feel empowered and confident, but I'm not that myself. So how do I work on this so I can give it to my kids and be their role model? Now, number one, the female, like if you have got a daughter, you are their biggest role model. And if you have a son, dad is their biggest role model, right? Same-sex parent or caregiver is the biggest role model in their life. So she is doing exactly the right thing by knowing that this is the way to go. And so one of the things that I specified in this post is that, like, this is absolutely perfect, because you can't make your kids be or do anything that they don't want to do, because they are their own sentient beings with themselves. Their spirit has come through onto earth in this body through you, because you are the parent that will teach them whatever it is they need to know. Whatever lessons they wanted to learn in this lifetime, they figured that you were the best parent, the best mother, to be able to guide them through those lessons. So don't ever forget, and don't ever forget that your kids are here for their own path, for their own journey, okay? You can't walk anything for them. You can't be or do anything for them. Like, they're here for their own stuff. Like, their spirit is here to explore its own purpose. So you need to remember that and guide them through it, not do it for them, or guide or mold and shape them into whatever it is you want them to be to make you look good, right? And it's like, oh, I don't do that. Look deep. Like, I do a lot of shit because I know it makes me look good, and I ain't afraid to say it's my ego, right? And we do what we do because we get something out of it, 100%, right? So what I loved about this lady's question is that it starts with her, and she's recognized that, and that is beautiful. So what I recommended for her to do, so if you want to be the best version of yourself, so you can be the example to your children, what you want for your kids, which is confidence, which is empowerment, which is strength, which is being, a person who responds instead of reacts. They don't let their emotions run the show. They are guided by who they are, not their emotions pulling them all different ways. Like, you need to be the model of this stuff. Hey, Danielle, how you going? Good to see you. You need to role model this stuff for them, because especially from birth to 7 years old, this is the molding time for kids. They are in theta brainwave, which means that everything that they see, they learn, their witness goes right into their subconscious. And that is crystallized in there. And once it's in there, especially from birth to 7, it is very hard to shift that stuff, right? So everything that you show them, everything that you model to them, everything that they learn and everything that they witness from that time goes, that's the foundation of their belief systems and what they believe to be true about the world. So it's really important that you get this right. I didn't. And it's not impossible to undo it, but it is harder, right? So who do you want to be? So that was my first question, is decide who you want to be. Like you said, confident, you said, self-empowered. What does that look like to you? And write down all of the values and all of the characteristics of the identity that you want to be, right? What does that look like? If I was being that version of myself every day, what would I have to believe? What would I have to think? How would I have to act? What would I say? How would I process my shit? How would I react to adversity and uncertainty? How would I respond to life? What would I need to believe about the world and myself? Like, Think about all of the things that that person thinks, acts, believes, how they dress, how they carry themselves. Like, what will they tolerate? What are their standards? What will you not tolerate? Think of all of the things that that person would do and would not do, right? Get to that. Then live like that person. You can't just become the person who you write down, who you want to say you want to be. You need to pretend to be that person, act like that person. Because it's kind of like sleeping. Like, if you want to go to sleep, first you have to pretend to be asleep before you fall asleep, right? Same thing. You need to pretend to be this person before you become that person, right? So every time you feel adversity, uncertainty, something coming up, what would that person who I want to be, what would they say? What would they feel? How would they act? What would they do? And if you, and here's the clincher, right? Remind yourself every single day of that version of yourself who you want to become. Remind yourself why it's important, because it is. You are the role model for your children. It's important, right? Because you want this for your kids. You want them to be good humans. And be it, right? Here's the sticky bit, right? When you are being that version of yourself and you come up against resistance, contraction in your body around something. So just say you have decided, as the best and highest version of yourself, you are not going to tolerate being spoken to in a certain way, right? You're not going to be spoken down to. You are not going to be made to feel small, right? Say that was one of your standards as the highest version of yourself. Then, when someone does talk down to you and when someone does make you feel small, how do you respond? If you go into an unconscious pattern of either lashing out and getting angry and go, like, is that how you want your best and highest self to respond? If you do, great, go for it. But if you want to hold strong boundaries without being reactive, to be able to understand that you've been triggered, understand where the triggers come from, and then being able to respond and say, hey, I feel belittled because you just said this to me, whatever it is. What I need from you is to speak to me more respectfully, because this is what I deserve, right? That's a script, right? But it's a very, very good one. How do you want to respond in those moments? And if you find that you contract, you shut down, you yell, you don't say what it is you want to say, and you go away like, looping it over and thinking, I should have said this, I should have said this, I should have said this, Congratulations, you've just been triggered. That is the stuff that you need to work on as a person so you can get to be the best version of yourself for your kids. Every time you don't do what your best and highest version of yourself would want to do, every time you feel that contraction, every time you want to say something but you don't, you feel the contraction. Every time you want to lash out or say something but you don't, that's the work you've got to do there. That's the resistance. Every time you go for a goal, every time you want something but you feel that, I can't do that because of this, and I can't do that because I don't have the time, or I can't do that. That's the stuff you need to work on. If you want your kids to be go-getters, if you want your kids to be emotionally intelligent people who respond instead of react, if you want kids who know their self-worth, know that they're allowed to have boundaries, know that they're allowed to be able to process their emotions, know that they are able to, that they can be themselves without having to tend to the needs of others. If you want that for your kids, you need to learn that stuff for yourself. Now, I have done a program which is absolutely 100% free. It is called the Reclamation Project. I will put it in the comments of this video. It is the cat's pajamas. It will get you through your triggers, your emotional processing. It will help you to understand why you get triggered. It helps you to understand the tribal cycle, why what happened to us as children still affects us today, and how to understand it and move through it. It helps you to understand who it is that you want to be and how to get through the barriers that stop you from being that version of yourself. It is 10 modules. I didn't go like way deep, but it's pretty freaking deep stuff, right? Like this is stuff I wish I knew when I had my kids, because it would have gotten me through all that reactivity. It would have gotten me through all my self-limiting bullshit beliefs that I had that made being a mum miserable for me, when it could have been a joyful, beautiful process. And yeah, that's what it's all about. So this is absolutely free. If you want to be in this program, jump on. It's absolutely free. 10 modules. You go into the guide section. It's in there. Check it out. It's incredible. And if you want to do this work further, hit me up for some one-on-ones, because that is where the real growth and transformation happens. If you want to get to the duck's guts of the bottom of your triggers and your stuff, this is where we do the work, my friend. I use human design, shadow work, reality transurfing to create your own reality that you want, and to get you from where you are to where you want to fucking be, right? It's amazing. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope that has given you some value today around, why did you want to be a mum? And the values and the identity that you want to instill in your kids. You need to be it first. You can't do it for them, but you can be it, and you can be the example of it. So important. Anyway, hope that you enjoyed it, and I will probably see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.